welcome back to my channel. This is just like a random video that I just decided to film today because I just got in the mood for filming. Sometimes I just do. So what I thought I'd do is I'll still be releasing video next week, and I'll aim to do that on Wednesday when I want to do that Asperger's book, the Rude Words one. So what I'm planning on doing is I'll release this video today because I normally try and do like at least 2 videos a week. Although this week you're getting extra because I'm doing one today, but it'll even out because then next week I'll do a video, but you'll just get one video next week, which will be when I'll just focus on that Asperger's book, and I might do several videos now over several weeks. So I'm planning on just doing one video today, uploading this today, Friday, and then next week on Wednesday is my, although it might be thinking of it, actually, I'll go back on what I say. It might be next Tuesday because I'm going to a group meeting on Wednesday. We'll see. So it'll either be Tuesday or Wednesday next week that you'll get for next video. So it'll be one video next week on either Tuesday or Wednesday, and again you've got a bonus video today, but it'll still amount to 2 videos in total. It's just I'm spreading them out. If you see what I mean. So one today and one next week. Although you never know, I might do an extra one next week. We'll see. But yeah, so I just felt like filming today really. This morning, it's been kind of quite a lazy day today because yesterday, Thursday, I went to an Autism planning board meeting, which are quite irregular. They don't take place that often, they're like every couple of months or so. I do enjoy going to them because I like being kept in a loop, and I just like finding out about all the latest events that I might potentially be able to get involved in. And you know, it kind of forms if you like, the extent of my social life essentially, because I don't really have much of a social life, so these groups basically are part of a very limited social life I have. So it gets me out, and yeah, obviously they are quite mentally taxing because, you know, any social event is, even structured ones like that are still quite mentally taxing, particularly when, you know, my OCD gets triggered, and my OCD did get triggered yesterday. I have an illness OCD, so if someone's like coughing and stuff like that, I get triggered and I think, oh, germs, and at one point I almost did walk out but I did stay. The person coughing didn't cough that often and did it quite discreetly, and at one point I was thinking, oh my god, when they were like having a coughing fit, am I going to leave? But I didn't. I managed to stay, so that was good because my OCD does get triggered quite easily, and then obviously I do feel quite tense, but I kind of reasoned myself out of it, so I did manage to stay. But it does take a lot of energy, that. So today I've been having quite a sort of like more laid back day. I did actually do a full English breakfast for breakfast this morning, which is basically the full works. So that's like poached egg, fried mushrooms, grilled tomato. I did cheat though and used a can of Heinz beans and pork sausages. That's mainly because I've got OCD around handling raw meats and cooking things that involve meat, so that obviously removes the OCD, and I still quite like them. So yeah, it was a little bit of cheating, but I did manage it. I also had potatoes that are boiled, sliced, and then fried. Afterwards, I then had some toast with marmalade. And some strong English breakfast tea. So, oh my god, it was a really big thing, but I just felt I really want to do a proper English breakfast, so that's what I did, and it worked out well. So yes. So anyway, in this video, what I wanted to do was I've been doing a bit of organising lately, as I think I told you before, because I've just moved into a new place, and I came across one of my old diary books. Now, I think I've told you before, but I used to be like really obsessed with babies when I was growing up, and this diary, I'm obviously going to I won't say any names in it because I want to preserve their confidentiality so that no one can be identified, because obviously it is confidential stuff. But this diary is to do with the fact that when I was a teenager, someone in my family had a baby, and I basically got really, really obsessed and wrote down literally everything. This is like a diary of when I went up to visit them, and I want to read some of it out because it makes quite interesting reading, and it is incredibly detailed. I wrote this when I was a teenager, so I just thought I'd read it out to you. So, Stratford-upon-Avon, because we went up to Stratford-upon-Avon, which is in the Midlands, UK. 3rd of January. Doesn't actually have a year on it. I think it's something like 2003, maybe, something like that. I can't remember. Anyhow. So, left house at 8:15 a.m. Nice day, blue sky. got a train to Reading, calling at Guildford, Ash, North Camp, Farnborough North, Blackwater, Sandhurst, Crowthorne, Wokingham and Reading. I think that's the right order. At Reading, we had to get a coach to Oxford because of flooding. When we went over a bridge in Reading over the Thames, I noticed that the Thames was a bit flooded. Some trees were surrounded with water. There were boats in the Thames. The sky was no longer blue, but it had clouded over. We passed a pub called the Griffin. There was a sign, Mum said, pointing to Stoke Row, Banbury. There were some signs pointing to places like Wokingham, etc. I saw a glimpse of the road leading to Reading Town Centre, high orange-coloured terrace buildings were on one side of the road leading to Reading Town Centre. I did write this down in detail, I have to add, because I was obsessed with Kate Winslet at the time, and Reading was where Kate Winslet was born, so that's why I particularly wanted to note down everything in Reading. The coach went on a high-up, sloping, slightly hilly road to Oxford, going through the Chilterns, which is a wooded area. We did go through some wooded areas, but to me there seemed to be just loads of fields. Sometimes I got a glimpse of a flooded Thames going through the fields. It rained while we were in the coach. At Oxford, we picked up the train to Stratford from platform 3, calling at Banbury. I got glimpses of the river Avon or Thames, even more flooded still. And then, I won't give names because I want to make this confidential, so just insert person, has been with Grandpa since Thursday and will leave on Monday. Turned 3 months on Thursday. Arrived bizarrely enough in time at around 1:30pm. They were not at the station like I said they would be. We walked down a road leading to the town centre and caught sight of them. Was in a front-facing sling. A normal baby sling, where his face is against Dada's chest. He wore a teddy bear brown woolly fleece suit, which had a hood which was over Dada's head, and which had 2 little sticking-up ears and bare feet on foot of the suit. Dada looked like a little woolly teddy bear in it, very cosy. He seemed a lot bigger now, especially in the suit, not a tiny baby at all. We went into a new arcade where the early learning centre used to be and sat in a cafe. Dada was taken out of the sling and his teddy bear fleece suit was taken off. Dada has a filled-out chubby face now, lots of soft, fine, downy light brown baby hair, nice and soft over his head. Dada pointed out that he had a tiny bit of cradle cap, which I noted on his scalp when she pointed it out to me, like white peeling skin with tinge of colour to the white, a circle on his scalp, but it is not obvious. I have to look to find it. I only found out when she pointed it out to me. Dada is a real dribbler now. Lots of baby dribble came out of his mouth onto his clothes. White bubbles came out of his mouth, and he sucks his fists and fingers. I mentioned that he might be teething, and Dada said that sometime a tooth might be seen to come through. I held him in the cafe. I'm more confident at holding him now. He does not seem so vulnerable. He just sat on my lap. I had my hands around his chest. Mum held him briefly in the cradle position in a cafe as well. Dada was laid on a spare seat for a bit. I had to watch him to make sure he did not fall off. He sneezed twice, lying on a seat, and a drop from the sneeze touched my cheek. No runny nose or cough from Jared. Though Dada said his nose sometimes gets bunged up at night. So I don't know why I wrote that, just randomly else. I got Dada to smile once in a cafe. Dada breastfed him in the cafe when he started to whinge. I had pure frothy apple juice in the cafe. Dada was then put back in the sling in his fleecy bear suit, and we walked to Grandpa's house, stopping off at Marks and Spencer's en route. Dada was awake and alert at Marks and Spencer's. He liked staring out from the sling at all the rows of food. At Grandpa's house, Dada was laid on the sofa at the back of the sitting room by the doors leading out to the garden, and I entertained him with a rattle which he followed with his head and eyes. Another rattle which for a short time he clasped with his fingers before letting go. At Octopus with textured legs which squeak, crinkle, etc., suitable from birth, which Barbara Lloyd Evans gave, and a toy with the black and white stripes, a mirror which Dada loved to look into, and a tail to wind. If you put your fingers into Dada's hand, he clasps them now, and he clasped my wrist. I tried to sing some nursery rhymes to him, and pressed his nose, and walked my fingers up his body. At one point, Dada took Dada upstairs into a room to settle him, and then she allowed me to come in to help with the nappy change. She said that Dada had done some projectile vomiting all over her trousers. I watched the nappy change. Dada's legs are nice and chubby now, so are his feet, and pale smooth tummy and round bottom cheeks. He had done a poo, which was thick yellow. Okay, Dada wiped him with cotton wool. He wore a white disposable nappy, which Grandpa bought in Stratford. I held Dada downstairs on my lap, and Dada held him too. His hands, which he often put in his mouth, were wet with saliva. On Dada's lap, Dada did a fart. He was in a blue and white striped sleep suit now, which Dada had changed when he was sick. Later, Dada started to cry. Mum took him into the kitchen, holding him, showing him pictures of sheep on a tea cloth. Dada calmed down, but then whinged again. Then Mum realised that she had 2 sharp brooches on which she took off. Da-da-da was now screaming, redding her face. Mum thought it was because of one of her brooches, which luckily had not stabbed him. Da-da-da thought Da-da-da was tired. His cry sometimes went a bit high-pitched, a tired cry. She put Da-da-da in his teddy fleece suit in his sling, and leaving Grandpa in the house, we went for a shortish walk just round the block. Da-da-da slept. Back inside, Da-da-da was put to bed at around 6:30 p.m. We all gave him a kiss. He was awake. Then Da-da-da took him upstairs. When she came down, she said that Da-da-da was all smiley and kept making face expressions, pouting his mouth, etc. Da-da-da still waits for feast during the night. Da-da-da wants to eventually cut out the 4 a.m. one. For meal, we had jacket potato, lentil, carrot, veg, etc. Quite hot curry, followed by kiwi fruit cream, apricots. So that just gives you a little taste of my diary. I'm going to stop now so the camera doesn't run out, but I really want to carry on reading his diary in future videos because I think it gives like a really interesting account of my obsession at that age. I was a teenager and my cousin, as I say, I'm not naming any names to preserve confidentiality, but my cousin had just been born and basically I was really obsessed with babies, hence the fact why I wrote all that down, all that information down, and in some great detail. I mean, going into gross aspects of babies, like the projectile vomiting and the nappy change, like everything that I observed and took in, and just was really, really obsessed with. A person I mentioned earlier in the video, by the way, Barbara Lloyd Evans, I mentioned that name because she's dead now, so I didn't think that's a confidentiality issue, but when I went that's just to preserve other people's confidentiality, but just in case, you know, they might not necessarily want that to be broadcast all over, so it's just to preserve their confidentiality. But yeah, I just thought it was like just provided an interesting count. So let me know in the comments box below what you think of this diary, and if you had any obsessions growing up where you wrote like really detailed notes as well. So thank you for watching.